Hey y'all, come along with me as we make a baseball cap. So you will not need a baseball cap for this project. What you will need is some acrylic yarn, something to line your head with, and hot glue and plastic canvas. So right now I'm showing you guys how I do my double magic ring. And so that was the process. And we're gonna do 12 after we chain 2, we are gonna do 12 double crochet in the magic ring. We will not be counting the chain, only the stitches that we make inside of the ring. Now you don't have to do this, because basically all I'm doing right now is making a beanie. So if you already know how to make beanies, come back after you made your beanies. If not, you can hang out, see how I make mine. But this is how I've been making the start of my baseball caps. So I'm just trying to stick to, a single thing instead of constantly changing it up every time I make one. So I'm going to chain, and then I'm going to do my stitches. And this is me counting just to, show you that it's 12 and we're not counting the chain. So to close up your double magic ring, you're going to pull the end until you see the one of them kind of close, and that's the one you're going to pull to close it even tighter. We are going to slip stitch into the first stitch. So not into the chain, into the first stitch. And then we're going to chain 2. This will be your increase round, and we're going to put 2 stitches in every stitch. So you should end up with 24 stitches at the end of this round. So meet me at the end of this round to do my last increase. After you finish your last increase, you are going to go into that first stitch again, chain up 2, and now we're going to do 1 single crochet. And I forgot to mention that we go back into the stitch that we chained, that we did a slip stitch at. And you're going to do a 1 increase. So 1 single crochet into the first stitch, 2 into the second stitch, 1 single crochet into the third stitch, 2 into the fourth stitch. And so that is the pattern for this round. 1 single crochet, increase. 1 single crochet, increase. This is your increase. This next round, slip stitch into that first stitch. We're gonna do 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, increase. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, increase. And so this is the pattern for this round. And just in case you are experienced and you don't want to just sit here and watch me work all the way up to this, or you already ready for your beanie, I'm going to go up to 5 single crochet increase, and that should make my beanie at the top about 7.5 to 8 inches in width. And that's what I want. I want it to be kind of large because I got some stuff to put into to line the hat with, and that's gonna make it shrink a little bit. So that's why I'm doing mine up to 8 inches. I know normally other crocheters do it up to about 6, but I'm gonna try and reach up to 8. And I'm using a 5.5 millimeter hook. I have tight stitches, so I just want you guys to know that. So if you have loose stitches, you are bound to get that 8 inches. If not, you'll probably get about where I have. So this is just me showing you that I measured and got up to like 7.5. So that's kind of gist of what you want it to be. And I'm showing you guys how many rows I did. So you should have 7 rows of increases, and then you're gonna do just 1 single crochet in each stitch for the next 5 rows. I did 4, but I think I would have preferred if I would have did 5. And so now we're gonna go and section off 12 stitches so we can make the stretchy part on the back, where you can put your hair through there, and it's kind of a size adjustment. So we're gonna put it in like the 13th stitch, and then the stitch before the first stitch. So that is where we're going to stop in this area. So you're gonna you're gonna crochet until you get to that 13th stitch, single crochet in that stitch, and then we're gonna chain 1 and turn, because we are doing single crochet in this section. So that's your chain 1, and this is me turning to go back and do my stitches, going all the way back to that beginning stitch that we started the single crochet on. So I repeat, we are doing single crochet in this section. So I chain 1 and turned, and we're going back the other direction. You will do 5 of these single crochet rows. And you should end up with something similar to this. Okay, now that I've done my 5 rows of single crochet, I will chain still and go back into that same area and do a single crochet. So we're going to do at least 5 going along the side of the open space. We went around the corner. Okay, we're going to chain 1. So we did that along there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 1, and we're going to turn. We're going to slip stitch into the back loop only. And make sure you do this loosely so that it will be flexible once you finish. I only bring it up because I have a tight stitch. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That was my 5. Okay, chain 1, turn again, do back loop only, slip stitch. We are slip stitching into the back loop only. However many stitches that you chose to do in this area would be how many slip stitches you are going to make. Chain 1 and turn. Okay. So you're going to do this until you have 12 ribbings that look like this. So do your 12 ribbings, and then you're going to back loop it close again. So this is us back looping it. You're going to pull your working yarn through the back loop of the other thing. Line them up. Chain 1, go into both stitches of that one, and then the back loop only of the ribbing. I go through that one, back loop only, slip stitch. Go through that one, back loop only, slip stitch. And we're doing this on the inside of the hat because I don't want, you know, the line of the stitching to be showing. So you want to make sure you're doing this on the inside of the hat and not the outside. Okay, back loop only. Chain 1, then fasten off. And this should look like something similar to this. You're going to make a replica of this basically with whatever you want to line it. So if you're lining it with fabric, you don't need to make a replica. But if you're lining it with yarn, I took bamboo yarn and basically I did the 12 stitches in the first round, and I increased it, and I just kept measuring it against the hat to make sure that it was tall enough to be lined with the hat. So before you close this one off, before you start to do that single crochet row, I would sew this into your hat first and make sure that it lines up correctly. I'm hot gluing it to the middle to secure it. Make sure it lines up correctly. So you can go ahead and sew it in there so you can figure out how many more rows you would need to do for the lining. And so I took the acrylic yarn that I used for the top of the hat to sew them together. And you should have something that looks like this. I didn't do the ribbing because it was too difficult and it was just becoming time consuming. If you want to do the ribbing, that is fine. So you're gonna take, you can take a baseball cap and take the plastic canvas and cut it into the shape. And I'm gonna use these to kind of sew onto the hat to make it more sturdy, and that way I don't have to connect it a certain way. So this is like my second or third time doing it, so I figured maybe this would be the best option than what I had at first. So sew all those on together and then sew them onto the hat. And I'm just showing y'all how it fits on her head right now. And yeah, so this is gonna cover up the area, and then I'm sectioning off where the brim stops. And then you want to start your brim or your baseball cap in the front loop of your stitch. So not the back loop, not in the stitch, but the front loop of the stitch only. This will make your hat go upward, the brim go upward instead of down. So you start to see it flex up. So if you're not sure on, because I'm going to show you guys how I decrease them, but I use the plastic canvas to kind of guide me on decreasing. But whenever you decrease a row, make sure that you decrease it on both ends of the row before moving on to the next row. So just use your brim as your guide to decide when you are going to decrease to make sure it works up or lines up with your plastic canvas. Then after that, you're gonna sew it all together. After that first row, you are going to be working into both loops of the stitch. So you'll go back to normal crochet. So you should have something that looks like this. Measure it up against your brim and then sew it on. I ran around the edging and did a single crochet. So you don't have to do this part, but I wanted my edging to look a little cleaner. So I went around the brim and did a single crochet to make it more uniform. So once you finish this area, you're gonna spend time basically hiding the plastic canvas, and that's why I sewed up the little piece, because you can sew it up in those little short square rectangular areas. And then I chose like some black fabric to cover up the brim part. This is just an example of what the black part of the brim should look like. And I've changed the red part since then.